Redmi Note 5 and Note 5 Pro are two of the most sought after smartphones in the mid-range segment. However, one issue that they have is availability. Although the phones are fine on their own, it's not easy to get access to them. Asus believes that they've got the solution to that. The Zenfone Max Pro goes head to head with both these phones and not just attempts to fix the problem of availability, but also claims to provide a more complete package, which is also better value for money. This is Sandeep from RevAtlas. Let's compare the Zenfone Max Pro and the Redmi Note 5 Pro. On paper, the displays of the Note 5 Pro and Max Pro seem very similar. They both have 6-inch IPS panels with Full HD Plus 2160 by 1080 pixels of resolution and an aspect ratio of 18:9. However, they do seem to vary quite a bit in terms of real-life performance. We found the display on the Max Pro to be brighter as well as sharper than the Note 5 Pro. As a result, the sunlight legibility is also a tad bit better on the Max Pro, but the Note 5 Pro does have Corning Gorilla Glass, which the Asus phone doesn't. The footprint on both the devices are vastly similar, but the Max Pro is slightly bigger and thicker, mostly owing to the larger battery. The Note 5 Pro also has a massive 4000 mAh battery that gives around 7 hours of screen on time, while the Max Pro has an even bigger 5000 mAh battery that gives an hour of screen on time more. It seems a bit lower than full potential, judging by the lighter skin and bigger capacity, but it should get better with future software updates and optimizations. The Note 5 Pro feels denser and feels more solid compared to the Max Pro, which feels lighter, probably because of the better weight distribution. The Max Pro feels easier to handle and hold due to rounded corners, but the Note 5 Pro does feel more premium. Speaking of lighter skin, this time around Asus has done away with their Zen UI layer and opted for a stock Android look with Android 8.1 Oreo out of the box. There's no Android One branding, but Asus does promise a faster update schedule than usual, while the Note 5 Pro runs on Android Nougat with MIUI 9 on top of it. Both the phones feature micro USB ports, however the Max Pro features a triple card slot that houses 2 nano SIMs and 1 micro SD card slot compared to the hybrid dual SIM slot on the Note 5 Pro. They both feature rear mounted fingerprint scanners as well as a face unlock feature, however the face unlock feature of the Max Pro will only be rolled out with a future update. We'll be sure to include a face unlock comparison once it does come out. Audio is both louder and of higher quality on the Max Pro, and the audio quality over the headphone jack too is a tad bit better than the Note 5 Pro. The Max Pro comes in 3+32 and 4+64 gig variants, while the Note 5 Pro comes with 4+64 and 6+64 combinations. Both come with the same Snapdragon 636 octa-core processor from Qualcomm. The arguments on Asus' side for not introducing a 6 gig model is perhaps that stock Android UI would yield similar results even with 4 gigs of RAM. You would naturally expect much better performance from the Max Pro considering that it has stock Android. However, the difference isn't too tangible in regular usage and they both remain practically identical in day-to-day life. Perhaps the 6 gig variant especially will show its true potential only when performing intensive tasks or multitasking, so we'll do a speed test between the two devices very soon. Both the Max Pro and Note 5 Pro feature dual camera setups at the rear. The Max Pro has a 13 megapixel primary camera with a secondary 5 megapixel camera for depth sensing. The Note 5 Pro too has the secondary depth sensor with 5 megapixels of resolution, but instead has a 12 megapixel primary camera. At the front you get a 20 megapixel camera on the Note 5 Pro, while the Max Pro has an 8 megapixel camera. We'll be doing a full-fledged camera comparison between both the phones soon, so please do stay tuned for that. The fight between both the smartphones are pretty neck and neck. Apart from the triple card slot, which could see a few tilting in favor of the Zenfone, it seems like all is based on personal preference in terms of whether one wants stock Android or MIUI. However, one thing that could decide the verdict once and for all is the camera comparison. We'll be doing that soon, so do stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching and see you again in the next one.